Biohacking. It sounds more complex than it actually is.
Diet, very quickly you see results. This biohacker, he's a physician. He says that in 6 days, you can already see some results.
6 days?
Yeah.
But, okay.
Someone that I know went through a training to do hypnotherapy.
Hypnotherapy?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I did
No.
this. And it worked.
Hold on. Whoa.
And it would have been mine if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
Welcome to another episode of the Full Gambit podcast. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, and I kind of relapsed. No, I won't call it relapse, because relapse, I think, is a very ugly word. I started to do something that I did a long time ago that I had kind of eased up on, because at that time I was going through a bit of a evolution, and I had a conversation with a friend that I've been trying to get on the show for a long time. And she's used a term that just clicked with me. And I was like, that's interesting. Let's talk about that. So I have my good friend Lou Jupp.
Hi.
And today we're going to talk about biohacking.
Yep.
And we're going to dive off the cliff and kind of talk about some other things.
Yep.
Working with your spouse. And you're a real estate agent, and I need some advice.
Okay, all right.
Some people need some advice out there. So, but biohacking, it sounds more complex than it actually is.
Yeah.
What is it for you?
Well, for me, biohacking is just looking at ways to improve your life in general.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it starts with your body, your mind. It can be your spirituality. It can be your time. It can be your energy level. Like that's, it's like a holistic approach of life in general.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what biohacking is, like putting in place certain things, seeing if it works for you, researching, trying things, like changing things as you go, and then see what works for you. Like, let's say for diets, I started like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I cut some things and I see how I feel about it. If I feel good, then I don't do it anymore. If if I feel like something is not good for me, I don't do it anymore. Like this is what biohacking is really like. And then everybody does it.
It's not just dieting though.
No, it's like every aspect of life. Like I say, it's your body, which is diet, exercising. It's your social life. It's your career. It's your spirituality. It's it's all those aspects. That's why I call that biohacking or life hacking. It could be your brain.
How easy is it to do? Because everybody seems to want this, I guess, in this microwave era, instant gratification.
Yep.
Is it easy to do, or is it something where you have to have a certain level of discipline?
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's not as difficult as it seems. It obviously comes down to making that decision. And I think that's the first step. And that's the most difficult step to do. Like, how much do you want to feel good? How much you want to make that first $1 million? How much you want to...
Oh, is money involved in biohacking?
Yeah, of course. Like, how can you... Let's say, like,
you talk my language.
But I know, that's what I use that example. But yeah, like everything is tied, right? Mm-hmm. Like your life is not just your family or just your diet or just your business, or like it's a whole thing. So if you are looking at one aspect and neglecting another aspect, you're not successful. Like you cannot perform to the highest level possible.
So you have to have holistic balance.
You have to have a holistic approach of life if you want to succeed. Even if your main goal is to make that $1 million, you still have to look at every other aspect, because every other aspect will help you to get to that point. Because again, you have to do something that is sustainable, that you can sustain, for a long period of time. I know there are some videos and something like, oh, like it's easy to make your first million, or it's difficult to make your first million. Oh, this, and do this and do that. But there are so many aspects to life. Like, for instance, spirituality is a big aspect that people forget. Diet, what you eat, can help you to make that first $1 million or not. Like everything.
Really? How
Yeah.
can diet make me $1 million?
Okay, so in order to, when you're an entrepreneur, because I'm guessing that's,
Yeah.
all right, so
Yeah, only entrepreneurs
you
make $1 million.
exactly. So you
Sorry,
have
worker bees. You don't
not
make
only,
$1 million.
but
You don't make $1 million unless you're in the right situation, like you're making a commission off of something
Yeah.
and you work for a firm or something like that.
yeah,
Entrepreneurs,
or you're an executive and then you like,
bonuses.
Yeah.
Yes.
but let's take the example of entrepreneur. And then in any person that wants to make that $1 million, you need energy. You need your energy to be,
Okay.
you need a lot of energy.
Right.
You need motivation or inspiration, right?
Okay.
You need to be disciplined.
Yes.
Okay. You need to be strong. Like you need stamina.
Yes.
That's how you say that?
Yes.
And all that, how do you get it?
Diet.
Yeah, diet, spirituality or meditation. That's what I do.
Mhm.
Exercise,
Mhm.
your brain health, your mental health.
Yes.
All those you have to work on before you work on your business. Otherwise, you're just gonna break at some point.
So you literally have to have your house in order before you could actually put yourself out of there.
Actually, you need the foundations before you build the house. And the foundations is biohacking, is the foundation to live a good life, whatever that means for you.
Mhm.
Is it $1 million? Is it like, being free? Is it like having a family or whatever it is?
So whatever you determine as a successful life,
Exactly.
it starts there. You have to do that type of preparation.
You have to, yes. Because you will never be successful in terms of the holistic success
Mhm.
if you don't look at all these aspects and then work on each of them.
Some people would look at this particular episode and be like, oh, biohacking, oh, you're trying to sell something to somebody. Why do people have that attitude about biohacking?
I guess because there's a lot of content out there and there's a lot of product that people sell. And I guess that's what it is. I don't know. I know that I started that. It was not even like a trend. I feel like it's more trendy now.
Mhm.
You even have like biohackers. Like it's
Like the influencers?
like people that call themselves biohackers.
Do you guys have a biohacker?
No,
You just do it.
I just do it. Yeah, like there's a label so people can recognize what it is.
Mhm.
But no, I'm not a biohacker. I'm just a human being trying to live my best life. But I always had that mind. I wouldn't call that mindset because I don't like the word mindset because that means that it's set.
Mhm.
And my mind changes all the time.
You're very fluid.
Very like what I'm telling you today, I might disagree with it tomorrow or
Not tomorrow, like a couple of years from now.
maybe. But if I keep learning
And you could grow.
and
at
I
any
keep
point.
like trying things and I keep learning and I keep like having experiences that might make my mind change. So I wouldn't use the word mindset, but I always had that way of thinking where I question things
Mhm.
and I like look at myself and say like what it really is and try to be better, do better, like just, improve myself. I always been like that. Like that's not, but it's not everybody's like that. I understand that.
Mhm.
And because it's so difficult to find proper information,
Right.
we're not educated. We don't learn that at school, which is for me like just why we don't learn that at school. Like it would make my life so much easier if I knew those things when I was, a kid.
When you're cultivating your identity, it'll would have been a part of you for a longer
Yeah,
period of
because
time.
then it wouldn't have took so long for me to get to certain points in my life where I'm healthier. I exercise, I meditate. I understand my spirituality.
Mhm.
I was like, I was kind of lost at some points. And then I had to do a lot of research, read a lot of books, try a lot of things. when I could have just, learned. Obviously, I think life is like that. You have to experience things for yourself. But we coming from so far that I feel like it's a detriment for a lot of people that don't necessarily have this way of thinking, of questioning everything. They just believe that, okay, well, my mom told me this is how it is. My grandmother, she was doing it like that. So they seem to be happy. They seem to be good. That's the way it is. I'm not going to question that. And they're just going to go with it. The good thing is that now there's so many information out there. It's easy to,
and different medias as well.
Yeah.
Books, audio, video.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So however you digest information, it's there for you.
Yeah, exactly. So it's better, I think, for the new generation. But for my generation, it's I've started really late in my life, so I feel like it shouldn't be like that.
But you still, it's one of those things, once you start it, you could see improvement rather quickly, or at least within a reasonable amount of time if you're disciplined and consistent and you do the right things.
It depends on what diet. Very quickly you see results.
Okay.
Apparently, and that's something I read, I can't remember where. Yes, that's this biohacker. I can't remember his name. I have it somewhere if you want the reference, but he's a physician, and he wrote a couple of books, and his specialty is biohacking, as to how to live, the healthiest possible. Not the longest possible. Sorry, not the longest possible, but the healthiest possible. And what I was about to say, I wanted to say something. What was your question again?
If you would see the results right away, you said depending, and you said diet is one of those ways.
Yes. So he says that in 6 days, you can already see some results.
6 days?
Yeah.
But okay. What about your diet? Can you see results in 6 days?
Well, it depends what, but yes, you can see results in 6 days. Like for me, for instance, I'm going to take my example, right? Because I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician. But me, the first thing I stopped is sodas. That was
so no more pop, no more Sprite,
no, not even sparkling water. Once in a while, and I always regret it.
Hold on, no sparkling water?
No sparkling water. And I stopped that 15 years ago, I think. Approximately 15. That's the first thing. You haven't drank
sparkling water in 15 years?
No. Sodas. I haven't drank any sodas for at least a decade. But I stopped doing it regularly 15 years ago.
Okay.
And I was used to drink a lot of Coke soda. And at some point, it was so painful that that first sip, and it hurts right away.
Really?
Yeah. So I say, you know what? It's over. I'm not doing any soda anymore. And then right away, I felt the benefits. I didn't have any issues like stomach aches and all that. And then the next thing I stopped was actually just before I moved to the Bahamas. I was with a friend. She started this diet business to lose weight. And I lived with her for a month before I left, because I left my apartment. Stayed with her with a month before I came here. And I said, you know what, just try a diet on me. And in her diet, there is no gluten. I didn't know I was intolerant.
I'm still confused about the gluten thing.
Okay, so gluten, mostly in pasta, pizza dough, and
anything
white
with
bread.
Flour, pretty much.
White flour, highly processed flour.
Okay, so highly processed flour.
Highly processed flour has very high amounts of gluten, and anybody that eats that is not good. It doesn't matter if you tolerate or not tolerate it. It's just not good. Now, gluten itself is not a bad thing. It's just that the quality of what we eat and the quantity of what we eat makes it very difficult for our body, because the amount
we're getting in such a high supply.
Exactly. Yeah. So every time I would eat pasta, and I didn't realize that it was pasta until I stopped pasta. So because I stopped gluten, and I felt more energy, no more headaches, no more heartburn, no more bloating. And I'm like, what is going on? And the only thing that I stopped is bread. I love bread, but I stopped
I mean, who doesn't love bread, right?
So I stopped it. I came here gluten free. I mean, I'm not gluten free. I'm low gluten. So I do gluten once in a while.
Right.
And as long as I keep it like very low or not highly processed, I'm fine. I don't get sick. I'm not allergic to gluten. I'm just like,
Because I saw it for me, it's almost seemed like a fad. Like it became everything was gluten free, or I am gluten intolerant, and I was like, "Where's this coming from? What happened? Like, did they inject something in the food? Is it like what's happening?"
kind of like the quality of the grain that is used mostly in the U.S. And then also the quantity of it that we eat makes it that I'm pretty sure like at least 50% of people are intolerant to gluten, if it's not more, honestly.
So what is it that we can't eat now? Because if you can't eat the bread, you can't eat pasta. And I love pasta. Like I love my little swirly
Eat
vegetable
protein
pasta.
Eat the lentil pasta or chickpea pasta.
The what?
Gluten-free pasta. You have plenty gluten-free pasta in the food store. That's why I love pasta. I still eat pasta. I eat bread once in a while.
Okay.
Gluten-free bread. It takes some time to adjust because it doesn't taste the same. But now you have some like gluten-free pasta that are pretty good. It tastes pretty good. Or do whole grain.
So
better than white.
So if you want to get off the gluten train or this gluten train wreck, basically, whole grain is good.
Yeah, it's better. It's not good, but it's better.
I don't think I'll be able to eat anything by the time.
Well, that's where you have to, and that's why a lot of people feel like overwhelmed by all that, is because there's just so much information that you have to ingest, and they feel like, what do you? When I tell them what I don't eat, they look at me and say, "What do you eat?" A lot of things, but it was a 10 years process. It was not like a week process. You know, I didn't come one day and say, okay, well, I stopped this, that, and this is what I eat. No, like biohacking, you try something, you see how it works for you. Some people will be really fine with the whole grain, and some people, even the whole grain is not working.
Right.
You know, you have to just step by step cut on things. But before you cut anything, you have to understand, what does it do to you?
How does it affect you and your overall, your body, and how
exactly?
What's the reaction to this withdrawal?
Yeah. So you have to look at yourself in the mirror and then ask yourself, how do I feel? You know, like what issue do I have? Like, for instance, me, I had headaches. Okay. You know, like your body is talking to you, is telling you, you know, something is not working. So you have to look at, okay, what is not working? And then you start slowly like cutting things. Like some things are pretty obvious. Like people don't need to research really, like fried food, you know, or like too much carbs or starchy food. Everybody knows that is not the best. You know, adding more veggies, like all those are like small things. But, and I don't know if you remember, I told you this story about this lady that came and that had like 38 fibroids.
Yes, I do remember that.
So at some point it gets so bad, and it's so sad that it gets to that point, that it gets so bad, then you say, okay, now I'm going to do something. And then I think it starts with the mind, because as long as we see it as, oh, I'm depriving myself or something, like
it seems that you're punishing yourself.
Exactly. Right. When is the actual opposite? I stop alcohol. I don't miss alcohol. I'll have a sip once in a while if I'm invited to be polite, or sometimes I feel like you know, having just a glass and sipping to it. But I don't miss alcohol. I do not. I don't miss bread. I love bread. I don't miss it because I know what it does to me. You know, afterwards, I don't want the pain, and I like how I feel now. And I stopped coffee.
What?
Yeah, I stopped.
I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I know a lot of people that have habitually drank coffee, and they can't do without it.
No, because you have to go through the withdrawal. It's like sugar, and it's like painful, and it's horrible. It's uncomfortable. It's just horrible. And then I had to go through that so many times that at some point I say, what am I doing? Like, just stop it. Just don't go back to it. It's not worth the pain.
So what do you eat and drink?
So I drink herbal teas
Instead of coffee.
Okay. In the morning my breakfast is almonds.
Like the nut?
Yeah, the roasted almonds.
Okay.
I buy them raw, and then I just roast it myself in the oven. I do a protein shake, but it's just because I work out.
Okay.
If I didn't do the workout I do, I wouldn't take that. So it's not necessary. But I do soy milk. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, soy milk, like estrogen, blah, blah, blah. That is not true. But I agree that it's processed food, and I try to avoid processed food. So at some point I will cut that.
There's this new thing. It was on Shark Tank. This guy, you could take the almonds or whatever nut that you want, put it in a machine, and it helps you create your own.
The milk?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
I think it's new milk or something like that.
Yeah, you can make your milk. You can make your milk, but I already cook all my meals. You know, again, I'm in the path. I'm not arrived yet.
Okay, so you're still in the process of
I'm still in the process of cutting things, you know.
More.
Yeah, more like the soy milk. Eventually I'll cut it. I won't buy milk at the food store anymore. I'll have to think about how to replace that, because I understand what is not good for me, like in the long term. And anything processed really is not good. But I'm not gonna do everything at once. Like, you know, I'm cutting. My big thing was coffee. And even decaf, because I cut coffee like a while back, but I was still doing decaf, and decaf has caffeine.
Isn't it like the same thing? Like it's like what?
No,
60% less.
It depends on the brand. But yeah, it's like sometimes it's 90% less, sometimes it's like 70% less, sometimes it depends on the brand. You'll have to look at the level. You know, they don't always tell you, but still coffee. Still coffee. I'm still hooked
on that little bit of...
Yeah, and I understand that if I feel like I need something, that means that I have to look at that. Like, why do I feel I need it? Like,
so if you feel that if you have a urge, that's a problem.
Yes, for me it's a problem, because you shouldn't have urge of eating something. It's cravings. It's like a drug. You know?
Right.
So you shouldn't have the urge of eating anything.
What do you think is the most destructive habit or eating habit people have?
I think overeating is the worst. I think if people understood that they can cut back a lot, but I think that overeating is caused by a high carb diet. And again, I'm not a doctor or anything. It's just that based on everything that I read, that's what I understand. So I think sugar is like, and when I say sugar, is everything carbs, like processed carbs, like flour, bread, pasta, pizza, and like, yeah, that's the worst.
Bread, pasta, pizza.
Yeah,
that's a
even white rice is not, but it's still better than.
I just saw something on enriched rice that I didn't know. I didn't know, because as a kid, my mom would send me to the food store to get the Mahatma long grain, and I used to pronounce it as urchin rice, right? I couldn't pronounce it, and then I was like, oh, enriched rice, but I didn't understand that in the enrichment process was just overly processed.
Exactly. That's the worst. That's the worst thing possible. Even the cereals. You know, when you see the vitamin D, vitamin this, vitamin that. Yeah. That's what it is. It's so overly processed that they have to inject vitamin in it so that they can call it, oh, you see.
It's healthy.
Yeah, but it's not.
Yeah, because even the idea of quote unquote breakfast being the most important meal of the day, it was propaganda to sell more meat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I'm
dairy,
just realizing
animal products. Absolutely. And then cereal. Actually, no, it was not this guy from this cereal brand that whatever. It was all marketing.
Yeah.
It's like the 10,000 steps. It's like
Hold on, the 10,000 steps isn't a real thing either?
No, it's not. It was a Japanese company that launched that like to sell their products. I think it's like the podometer or like however you call it.
Mm-hmm.
So to count the steps. That's where it comes from.
So what is, in this world, like what is real and what is fake? Like
that's why you have to experience things for yourself. You know, that's why you have to question everything. And that's the only way to do it. You see something, sounds good, makes sense to you, try it.
Okay.
You know, but then you have to not just do it, you have to try and really analyze how it makes you feel. Does it work for you or not? If it works for you, fine, keep doing it. If it doesn't work, then okay, well, then do something else. But you can just like whatever you read, and then that's why everything that I read and learn about, I always like, oh yes, it makes sense. Okay, you know, it makes sense, I'm gonna do that. But in a corner of my mind, I always think about it makes sense for now with what I know now.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that potentially it won't make sense later if I have more knowledge or if I try something for a while and it doesn't work anymore.
So biohacking, we kind of focus in on diet a lot. And I think for a lot of people, I feel that diet is the huge part of it. I think it's the first thing. And I think next to diet, it'd probably be exercise. And then the next big industry is, you know, the motivation industry, TED Talks and the gurus and all that stuff.
Well, I don't think diet is the first thing.
You don't think it's everything?
No, because again, if you look at everything as a holistic, as a whole, it can be a first thing and then a second and a third. Even though you have to start slowly, you still have to start slowly in each area. Because it's true that diet will help with your mind. Yeah. But then you still need your mind to change your diet. So what do you start with then? Like some people will start with diet, some people will start with the mind. But at the end of the day, you have to work on both at the same time. Exercise, same. You cannot go to the gym. You don't have to go to the gym or lift weights or whatever to start.
I see calisthenics is a big thing, your own body weight and stretches and
but you can go walk. Well, it's the healthiest thing to do. To just go walk or garden or I don't know, like just
incidental
clean
movement.
Your house.
Incidental movement.
That's exactly exercise. Like there's so many ways of exercising that people always think about the gym, calisthenic, HIIT, like all those things. You don't start with that. Like if you start from scratch, just start with something you can sustain. And I always keep in mind, what can I sustain? Can I sustain that? Or is it just, oh, I'm so excited. It sounds so good. I want to do it. No. What can I really sustain? Can I really sustain to stop coffee now? No, just be honest. Yes, no. And then just, well, then cut on the number of cups you drink and then switch to decaf. And then at some point, like slowly like that, So it has to be a step-by-step process, but you cannot start with diets and don't neglect completely the mind. And exercise, I would say those three first, like exercise, diets, and the mind. Like you have to do something for each area.
Okay. Do you think people are, there are individuals or entities or companies that are exploiting biohacking?
Yes. Yes. I'll give you an example. I won't name.
Yeah.
Because it's someone that I know is not like mainstream business, but there is, I don't know if you know Marissa. I think it's Marissa.
Did you just say we're not naming
No,
anybody?
but I'm not named. That's not her.
Oh, okay.
But someone that I know went through a training to do hypnotherapy.
Hypnotherapy?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I did.
No.
And it worked.
Hold on. Whoa. You let someone hypnotize you?
Yes, I did.
Lou. No, you did not. You let someone in your head?
I think you watched way too many movies when you were a kid.
No way. Absolutely not.
Why not?
I don't want no one in my head.
Who's gonna be in your head?
Messing around, poking things that they shouldn't poke.
Okay, so I think you need to learn a bit more about hypnotherapy and what it is really.
So hypnotherapy, someone puts you under.
So someone
You're-
put me on that, which worked.
Okay.
So-
What did you change?
My fear
Of what?
of everything, of the future mostly, but of everything. Like
You
I was a
let
very anxious person.
You let someone come in.
Nobody came in. Like, let me
A
explain
person.
to you. No, let me explain to you how it works. Like, the hypnotherapy, you can do it for yourself. It's like a meditation on steroid. That's what it is, because you are guided to go deep within. So I don't want to be too technical, but when you meditate,
Mhm.
you basically change your
Plane of
wave.
existence.
No. Like,
Your frequency, you mean?
wave frequency.
Right.
I'm not even talking about anything spiritual or mystical or anything like that. I'm
Right.
just talking like pure science. So if they put something to measure your brain waves
Mhm.
and you go from one to another one, like
Mhm.
you have different stage, the state or stages, and each one is a certain, like when you fall asleep, when you sleep, when you're
Yeah.
a kid, like all that, right?
Correct, yeah.
So meditation, I think, is delta and theta. So theta is very, very difficult to get to.
Mhm.
Those are like people that meditate, like
Hardcore, like they're
very like
they're professional.
exactly. They're
Right.
like they know, like the monks.
Okay.
So basically, hypnotherapy is a technique that helps you to get to that.
Mm.
With guided meditation, it's like, for me, it's the same thing, really.
Okay.
Because when I meditate and when I got hypnotized, I felt the same way. I felt the exact same way. Like this deep relaxing, you go back into your memory, like you go within
Mhm.
yourself, and then you go and you like, so basically the technique is that they take you to a memory of you feeling what you're feeling.
Mhm.
Like I come and say, okay, well, I'm
A
fearful.
deep feeling.
I feel anxiety. And then it takes you give me a time when you were a kid at that age when you felt like that,
Mhm.
and explain to me the situation.
Okay.
And then you go and then you feel it. You really feel that. And you experience again that situation, right? Where you
Mhm.
developed basically that coping mechanism.
Mm.
And after that, now that you recognize the coping mechanism, you know where it's coming from, you know what it was for,
Mhm.
then you come back, right? After that, you come back,
Mhm.
and then you tell yourself that you don't need it anymore. And you in theta,
So
remember your brainwave is like at the point where it's like rewiring your brain. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a term that you hear a lot in those motivational
Mhm.
video but it's like a simple way to say it.
Auditing, rewiring.
Yeah. So you create new connections and new belief and a new behavior. So those things that you do through meditation, which is creating a new behavior, creating new beliefs, rewiring your brain.
Right.
The hypnotherapy is just an hour and then boom, it's done. I mean, it's
But
not
you didn't have to go to
100%.
anybody to do this. You did this yourself.
No. I went to somebody that did that.
See, I have trust issues.
Well, then that's maybe the first thing you should work on.
No, I don't know. All right. So,
But you feel like somebody's just gonna mess up with your head and make you do things?
yeah.
No.
Yes. People are
Jay,
weird.
come on.
People are weird, Lou.
Well, go to someone you trust.
Who's that?
Okay, well, don't do hypnotherapy. That's fine. Not everybody has to do it, but then at least meditate.
I do meditate.
All right. So
I do meditate. I do believe in auditing and inspiring yourself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
but meditating is like auto hypnotherapy. Like it's a self hypnotherapy, basically. It is.
Yes.
Yeah. If you do it to a certain level,
yeah,
that's what it is,
Okay.
basically. You're not guided, but kind of like some people do guided meditation. I mean,
Yeah.
I do some guided
through
meditation.
through a
That's-
calm up or whatever the case is.
Yeah. So it's It's hypnotherapy. It's the same thing.
I wouldn't call it hypnotherapy.
It's exactly the same thing.
You're getting sleepy.
No, man. I told you watch too much movies. That is not like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But to come back to that, I went to this website of this person, and when I saw the prices, I was shocked.
Give me some prices.
Well, $500 the session.
For a session?
For one session. And then there was
That's like real therapy.
Mm-hmm. It works.
Like, no, I mean, when I say real therapy, I mean like actually going to a professional therapist to talk out your issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, that's double a good therapist.
Well, double here. If you go to Europe, is 10 times the price.
What?
Yeah.
Hold on. Therapy in the UK is like $4,000, $2,000, $5,000. Like,
no, I mean, the $500 compared to prices in France is 10 times more. Like France is like 10 times less.
Really?
Yeah. Like a good therapist is like 60, 70, 80.
So it's more affordable. It's really
much more affordable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Much more affordable. But yeah, when I see that, it saddened me because I'm like, this is such a great tool, but then pricing it so high, a lot of people will not be able to pay for it.
They'll forever feel that it's not something that they can't attain, they can't ever get because it's priced out of their quote unquote market or comfort.
Yeah, which I mean, I'm still like debating on that because then everybody should be able to price what they want. And then if we believe in abundance and we believe that everybody, can afford whatever they decide to. But I'm like, oh, come on, like, I don't think it's necessary to price that high.
What would you price it at?
I don't know. I will obviously it depends on where you live and your cost of living and everything. So, and I'm always like between here and France, the Bahamas and France. But so here I would price it like, I think $200 is good. Yeah. I think it's good enough. Like you still make your money, but then.
And this is just for a session.
This is for one session, but one session, I did 2 sessions. I did one session for fear and I did another session
with the same person?
With the same person, yeah. Another session on guilt because my aunt passed away and I felt very guilty for like reason that I'm not gonna explain here, but and then she helped me a lot with that too. Those 2 sessions. And then she gave me like this little audio that I can listen to if I feel like I'm feeling again that because it's never like it's a continuous work, always work.
Now I trust you, right?
Yeah.
We friends.
I don't like woo stuff. I'm mystical. I'm very
you're
science based.
Yeah, and
like I look at the science behind every single thing that I do.
You're Lou, so I take you at your word. Like if you're telling me this works, it works.
It works. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
take a look at it.
Yeah, I always say there's a before my first session and then after my first session. Like I was 2 different person. Like
really?
Yep.
See, you just said something that just put my spidey senses up again.
Yeah, you should try it.
I don't know.
But
I don't want to come out a clone.
Again, you have to believe. If you go in and just skeptical and not really into it, that's not going to work because ultimately you're the one that do the work. Nobody does anything to you. They just guide you to do the work you need to do. So if you're not willing to do the work, it's not working. And that's the reason why hypnotherapy doesn't work on everybody. Like it doesn't work on me. Yeah, but were you willing to do that work? Were you ready to do that work? I was open. I was completely open. I didn't even know that. I was like, was I hypnotized or not? Like, I was like, I don't know if I was hypnotized because I was very conscious, and I'm like, and then she told, the only reason why I know I was hypnotized is because my eyes under my lid was like shaking like that and I couldn't control it.
Hold on, she showed you?
No, I felt it. You are aware of everything. You're conscious. You're not gone. You're absolutely conscious. If you want to wake up and open your eyes because you say, oh, I'm done, I'm enough, you can do it. You're not like...
So hold on. So you're in a comfortable space
Mhm.
and you're like kind of relaxed, your eyes are closed, and you could like kind of feel your brain working, or like
No, you're thinking. Like she's asking you a question and you're answering the questions. And then you're feeling the emotions attached to the answer. That's what it is. There's nothing
did you
mystical.
cry?
Yes, I did cry. Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're going back to like a painful memory
Yeah.
or something that like your
And then-
emotions will be like kind of raw, whatever the case is.
Yeah. And then you also are so surprised by the memories that come up. You're like, where did that come from? I completely forgot about that. Or why is this that thing that I choose like to talk about? Like, how is that even related? Like
$500 though?
Yeah.
Come on, lady, bring it down. Bring the price down.
Yeah. So I feel like some people, and then you have so many apps, like, and I like to try different things. I'm trying this app now. It's not costly. It's like, I think I paid $20 for the year,
Okay.
something like that. But it's so useless.
Is it user subscription?
Yeah, I just lost $20. Like, I think I'm gonna delete the app. It's not working.
Oh wow. Make sure
So-
you end the subscription to re-up before you
I
delete
did
that.
already.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I'm not renewing.
Okay.
But there's a lot of things out there to help people feel better that are not what they need. First, before you go look at all the fancy stuff,
Mhm.
you have to do the inner work,
Right.
which is, and then everybody has that ability to do it. Everybody knows exactly what to start with. Like no one is full. Like even though people don't question everything, they still know. I feel like they still know that, hey, I know this is not good for me.
Okay.
Mm.
Now we've done a whole episode on biohacking, and I didn't expect to go into hypnotherapy. That's going to be interesting. Maybe I wonder if she would allow someone that I trust to be in the room while I'm hypnotized. You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
As long as they're not distracted, they're just sitting there just to make sure everything's cocoa.
Yeah. I mean, she's not here anymore,
Oh,
so she won't be able to do it. Not her.
dang it.
But you'll have to find someone else.
No, see, that's a problem. I have to use the same person that Lou used.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
She's good though.
I
She's
can't
like,
believe it.
even her energy, her whole being is like, you just want to trust her. So I think that just have those kind of people that's,
Mm.
are naturally good at that because they're so empathetic. That's how you say that?
Empathic?
Yeah, empathic.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm sure you can find someone else.
No. Don't want to do it anymore.
Well, learn how to do it yourself.
I don't want to mess with other people either.
No, just for yourself. So just gonna improve your meditation. So what do you do when you meditate?
Me, I play like these motivational videos in the background,
Yeah.
and I kind of zone out everything, and I just use that constant monotone speech
Yeah.
as my anchor, and I try to embody that.
Yeah.
So it becomes, when I'm really in a zone with it consistently, I become a totally different person. And a lot of people can see it. So when I tell people like, oh, there are many sides to Jay, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
right? Like sometimes you'll see the jovial, like jokey Jay or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you'll see this like dead serious militant guy or this cutthroat person. And that's what I mean.
Okay.
You can always tell what type of, when I'm funny, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Like this is me. Like,
Yeah.
but when it's time to that killer instant switch, it's almost like a switch that you turn it on and off.
Okay. So you do it when you need it,
Yeah.
basically.
Basically.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
How has it been? Because both of us work with our spouse. How has that been? How do you work?
It is challenging for sure because you have to separate both the couple and then the business with the relationship, the romantic relationship or the marital relationship, and then the business relationship. And it's very difficult. I think that's where our challenges are. We haven't cracked the code as yet.
And with the line of work that you do, because you guys are, real estate professionals. What's the proper terminology?
We're real estate advisors.
Real estate advisors.
Yeah.
But between the two of you, there is no boss, junior type of thing. It seems as if that you guys are two entities that just work well together. And you guys do a great job, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, there's no real leader. However, we decided at some point, I mean, I guess I decided, and then Alex, it was just, okay, that we need a leader because if you have two, and both we have strong personalities, right?
Both of you are alphas.
Yeah, so at some point, somebody has to decide. And then because we're so different, sometimes we cannot decide on things.
Correct.
Right? So if we cannot decide on things, then we cannot advance ourselves on certain things. So at some point I say, okay, well, somebody has to lead. And we just decided for the real estate, obviously, that was, for me, like obvious that Alex would lead because he's been in the industry for like 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
And I just started last year, even though I was working with him to assist him, I really just started. So I would say he's the leader. However, it's not clear yet.
Yes, however.
It's not a clear situation. Like he doesn't come and say, well, this is how we're going to do it. This.
It's still a consultant, it's still a team.
Exactly. It's still like a synergy between us. It's just really, if we come to a situation where we disagree on something important.
You'll take his lead.
He will decide ultimately. He'll whatever he goes with, that's it.
Okay.
So that's what we decided because there's no real leader, but then you still need a leader sometimes. So
I think in every instance you need a leader, but it's also important to lean on strength, and and I like the fact that you realized or you looked at he has the experience, and this is what it is. So that's cool.
Yeah, he has experience. He obviously we're in the Bahamas. He's Bahamian. I'm French. Sometimes I come with my ideas, but it's not
that's very
realistic.
European of you.
Yeah, no, but it's not. Sometimes it's just not realistic, So I trust his judgment on certain things, even though I'm still looking at it with my French eyes and this doesn't make sense. But
the Bahamas isn't a real place. You'll get over it.
Yeah, I'm fine, but yes, I think that's the best. I think that's the best thing that ultimately he decides if we disagree on something.
What advice would you give someone that's thinking about getting into business with their spouse?
I think that there is a lot of conversation that needs to happen before. Unfortunately, most of the time, whenever we enter in a relationship, either romantic or business, we do not have this conversation before. And then we ended up facing a lot of challenges that could have been avoided just by conversation and agreeing on a way of doing certain things.
Right.
And obviously we've been working for a while. So now everybody sees Job Team as this
super brand luxury conglomerate.
But it was a lot of work before.
No, I know. I've seen it. I've seen the work. I've seen the progress.
Of work before. Me not, in the forefront, but that I was still working with Alex. I was still assisting him. I've been in sales for 10 years when I was in France at a very high level. So I've learned a lot of skills and I have a lot of knowledge in sales that I think he took advantage of for certain things. And he has his strength, he's very he knows a lot of people. He knows how to find this. He's
very charismatic. It's very natural for him.
Yeah, and then he knows how to put people together, which is what real estate is really. Yeah. If he sees something, he can think about this person that would be perfect with that person. So he really have this computer brain for that. I think. But again, it's two different personalities with different background, men, women, French, Bahamian, there's so many different aspects that makes us different, but at the same time, we're the same. I don't know if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
So we had to, slowly build. And now it's I know I'm mostly operational. And, But then he's very good at connecting with people, I think.
Would you say, because like I said, I work with my spouse and I think it's fine, but our business is a huge part of our identity as well.
Yeah.
Do you think working with your spouse, or do you think it's healthy for every relationship, or what do you think?
Yeah, I don't see why not. This is what I believe. I believe that if you don't have a healthy relationship, it's not going to work. If you have a healthy relationship,
it can't destroy it.
No, absolutely not.
Because you already have all the healthy habits. You're communicating.
Again, like you have the foundation that you can build up, so no, it's not going to, are you going to face challenges? Yes, of course. But marriage is a commitment. And as long as you're committed, there's no reason why it would damage your marriage. Like you're going to go through phases, up and down, and like sometimes it's going to be perfect and like all smooth sailing. And then sometimes it's going to be challenging and difficult and like trying to figure out what's going on and like adjust. But overall, it's just, I think it's great.
I think it provides an opportunity to have a profound respect for your significant other, because you get to see them work, you get to see them innovate, you get to see them think on a real level, not just family, me and you, superficial, romantic, me, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how do you deal with challenges in real time? How do you overcome? How are you creative?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it strengthens your relationship really, because like you say, it shows different aspects of your spouse.
Personality, their true personality.
Yeah, so you get to know every aspect of them, and then you get to spend more time. Okay, maybe it's not like, and then marriage is not like all, nice and glamorous. Like,
I know.
Everybody knows that.
I think movies and media has over glamorized or romanticized what marriage is. It's a partnership. It's a life partnership.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think being in business together and creating wealth or creating a legacy for yourselves, I think that's one of the best things you could do. Yeah.
And then since we've been together, we always like been very close to each other, like doing a lot of things together. So for me, it was just like, for both of us, it was just, obvious that we would work together if I get to real estate, because we've been doing everything together, like everything that we plan, everything that's, like our life goals, like everything that we do is always in line, so it was just normal that in business we get in line. I still have my own business, but I just feel like it's an extension that it's a career, but it's a part of our life. Really. Right. That's just what it is.
How is the real estate market, by the way?
It's a slow season now, I would say. So it's slowed down a bit, but it's pretty good. Actually, there's a lot of things happening, a lot of buyers. We're in a low inventory market. So
I think, isn't all of real estate right now kind of in that low inventory market?
Definitely in the Bahamas, yeah.
Definitely in the Bahamas?
Yeah. And then if you're talking about the US, for instance?
Both.
Well, overall, yes. But it depends on the markets. The US is so big, so it's very difficult to compare a country like the Bahamas with US or Canada. Like, it's just...
No, we're not talking about Canada.
Yeah.
They don't even have their own freedom of speech.
Well, they're very big in real estate. Like, there's a lot happening. It was like... No.
They have a weird market. That's all I'll say. It's a weird market. Go Canada, but it's a weird.
But yeah, the Bahamas is its own market. It's very difficult to compare with like a bigger country.
But we're faring well?
Yeah, I think it's back to pre-pandemic. Okay. Obviously during the pandemic it was just a halt, and then after that you had the surge. And because it's a small country, there's low inventory. And there's always buyers looking. There's so much things that are attractive in the Bahamas that you always have buyers looking. It's just that there's not much. Like right now, we have to contact people, and we have like dozens of buyers that we cannot find anything for them.
Gee.
Yeah. So that's
is it like all like is it just the luxury market that has low inventory, or is it all sections?
Well, we specialize mostly in high-end markets, so it's difficult for me to talk about the lower market, but middle and high, like starting at like 500 and up, is very difficult. Like we had a listing in Veneto. I don't know if you know Veneto, like close to just by Super
Veneto, yeah.
So Alex had a listing there.
This is the one like on the side of Super Valley that they just built. It's like the
No, it's the one next to it.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, so it's not a new build. It's like an older complex. So we had a condo there listed for sale at 380, and
that's not bad.
It's not bad at all. It's priced like in the higher top of the markets, you know, from what was sold before.
Is it a 3-bedroom?
A 3-bedroom, yeah. 3-bedroom, two bathrooms. But I think Alex got like 15 showings in 2 days, 3 days.
That's crazy.
And now it's like after 2 days of showings, it's like under offer. It's gone.
I mean, a price like that in an area like that, that's not bad.
But that's the thing. Like there's so little inventory, and whatever is there, still too high price. Like sellers are still having a hard time understanding how the market is.
So you think a lot of people have overpriced?
A lot of people. Well, historically is like something that happened before here, like where sellers overpriced. But because people were buying without questioning anything at some points after the pandemic, then sellers have a hard time now readjusting to pre-pandemic prices. And then because it's a low inventory, I don't blame them. I mean, you know, that's at some point, if you're not in a rush to sell, some point someone will come and buy it at your price.
Okay.
So
how did you feel on, this is your first one?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Good. Next time I'll have some water.
You know what? That was me being a horrible host. We have water in the fridge.
That's all right. I'll have a sip.
I could have given you a
I feel like my
water.
throat is like getting like a bit dry. But other than that, it's like, yeah, it was good.
Easy, right?
Yeah, it was
It
easy.
wasn't as scary as you thought it was going to be.
I was not scared.
Oh, yeah. That's because you hypnotized your fear away.
Yep, it helps. No, I was not scared. It's just that there's just so much to say. Like I always concerned about how to deliver the best way possible so that people get the most of it.
You know what's the best way? Just to talk.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
No, it's literally the best way to deliver is just to talk and not to over. You have to know when to
But this is the thing with
and
me,
inflect.
right? And that's why I think biohacking is so interesting to me, is that I have to optimize every single thing. And then even when I talk, that's why I usually don't talk much. I was used to love debating and all that. I don't do it anymore because I always try to talk when it makes sense and when I know how to deliver what I want to say. So
I wish a lot of politicians would do that.
yeah. Well, that's not the job. The job is just to
Right.
You drown under their words.
Jeez.
So that you completely forget what we were talking about again.
There's a lot of pseudo intelligence when it comes to politicians. A lot of words that mean absolutely nothing.
No, but that's actually a technique. Those are techniques, the communication techniques that they use. So, for instance, if they have a question that is a bit challenging, they will repeat the question. Thank you for asking that question. It's a very good question. I'm glad you did ask that question and it come up first in the blah 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 blah. And then they talk about something you already forgot what the question was.
Right.
And then they talk about anything. And then at the end of the answer, the question was not answered. But then let's move on.
Yeah.
No, those are techniques. Communication techniques.
Well, you're always welcome to come on my podcast.
Thank you.
You're always welcome to come on my podcast. If you want to stream, we're available on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. Thank you to my 7,000 subscribers. Feel free to dislike, engage, do whatever it is that you see fit. The next time I come on, we're going to talk to a feminist. That's going to be a very interesting conversation.